Hi, this is John, and I wanted to do a review of a great web hosting provider that I really enjoy using called A2 Hosting. Now, a couple things I wanted to point out. I really use A2 Hosting, so this isn't just a review of someone who wants to make a commission off of you buying A2 Hosting from them. I really use A2 Hosting. In fact, I have two different accounts. So just to show you, let me go ahead. We're on their homepage here. I'm going to go ahead and log in, and you can see that I actually have two different A2 accounts with their Swift hosting plan. I liked it so much, and I've filled up my one that I went ahead and got a second one. And so when it pulls up here, you'll be able to see I have two web hosting Swift plans with them. Again, I think they're great. I like them a lot, and so therefore I have no problem using them, and why I also wanted to create this review video, because I do like A2 hosting a lot. I think they have a lot of they're kind of a diamond in the rough. A lot of people don't know about them. They're not real flashy. They don't have huge advertising campaigns like some of the big boys, Bluehost, HostGator, GoDaddy, etc. But they perform much better, and they offer a lot more, in my opinion, than a lot of those big names. So I wrote a few notes up here. Let's go make sure we cover these. So as I showed you, I really do use A2 hosting. I think it's great. Again, I think they offer a ton of features, and we'll go over those here shortly as well. Now, for full disclosure, I have other hosting sites as well. I use InMotion hosting, Hosixy, Orange Bells, 3for1, and I might even have another one or two that I'm forgetting about. So over the past year, I've been doing a lot of freelancing and building websites, and I've built over 300 websites for different clients. And I've used all kinds of different hosting. A few have gone with A2 and I recommended them, but a lot of people already had hosting with either Bluehost, Namecheap, GoDaddy, HostGator, 1&1, hope I got Namecheap in there twice, iPage, and lots of others. And one of the things I found in making these websites for clients is that you really do get what you pay for. So some of these are cheaper plans. iPage definitely caused a lot of trouble. 1&1 was very difficult to work with. Some were fine. Bluehost, Namecheap, HostGator, GoDaddy, they're okay to work with. But I think A2 does provide a lot more services at a similar, if not better price than a lot of the big names. And so if you're going to be serious about having an online business and having a website or multiple websites, then I just think it's important to go ahead and not be afraid to hesitate to pay to get a good service. Because really what we're talking about is only maybe $1 or $2 a month more for something like A2 over one of these other hosting plans. And so we're not really talking a lot of money. We're talking $12 or $24 a year to get a better plan. And in many cases, their pricing is exactly the same. They're very middle of the road pricing. They're not super, they're not expensive. There's definitely a lot of hosting plans that are much more expensive, but they're not some of the cheap stuff either. And the cheap things, they always cause a problem. The speed is slow, the security is bad, and it really is a you get what you pay for kind of thing. So when I started online in 2012, I did start with HostGator. That was kind of the most well-known hosting provider at the time, very popular, and I used them. Now, you may or may not be aware, there's a company called EIG, and EIG went and bought up a lot of the smaller, independently, privately owned hosting companies, which they did with HostGator. And if you go and do a Google search for EIG hosting companies, you'll see all the big names. Bluehost is part of EIG. HostGator is now as well, and lots of others, lots and lots of others. I mean, there's literally dozens and dozens of former independently owned private hosting companies that are now owned by EIG. Well, A2 never fell into that, and they remain independent, and that's part of why I think they do such a great job with their speed, their security, and their support. So they've been around a long time. I think it's, I want to say 2002 or 2003. They started under a different name, but then quickly changed over to A2. The two A's is because they're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ann Arbor, A2 hosting. And to me, one of the things I really love about them is they're not owned by EIG. So speed. One of the things that A2 really boasts about is their speed. And they talk about up to 20 times faster web hosting. Well, is that true? Is that not true? There's been different sites that have done speed testing, and you can go out there and find it. And you can find that, yeah, they really do have great speed. This site, they looked at 31 different web hosting providers, and A2 was the first in speed. And it was their 8th pick out of the 31. I would have put them in the top 5 for sure, if not top 3, but this is where you get into a little bit of difference of opinion. Now A2 can do that because they limit how many people are on their shared hosting, and so the resources aren't being hogged up by so many people all using the shared hosting, and they really do have very fast speed. The other thing I like about them is they have great customer support. You can contact them by phone, email, text, or their online support ticket. I always just do their chat, their online chat support. I get a quick response. It's usually resolved through the chat. I've only had to call them maybe once or twice, but they resolve things very quickly and they make sure that you're satisfied. So their support is awesome. And then they have some great security. They use HackScan, which is a free service, and it's a firewall, it's virus scanning, it's 24/7 security monitoring, brute force defense protection. And one of the things I like is A2 has reached out to me at least twice, maybe a couple more times, and said, hey, there's some potential vulnerabilities on your site, and we're going to take these actions to patch those up. And I was like, sure, go ahead, protect me. Go ahead and put that extra security in place for that. When you do they do have the one-click up install for WordPress through Softoculous, but they actually do it where they change the login, so it's not the the typical WP admin login. So they redirect the login, and they also put a CAPTCHA on the login page. And so those two things right there are done automatically. You don't have to go and do them yourself, although you could. They're done automatically. And again, just add another layer of security. Well, two more layers really of security. So that is very cool. They have a lot of other great, and here's what I was talking about, the optimized WordPress hosting plugin that they use, etc., and the login redirector. And I think they're great. So do they live up to their speed? Yes. Do they have great support? I would say yes. Now they have different plans. Really, what I recommend, you don't really need WordPress hosting. WordPress hosting is very expensive. VPS can be great for speed, but you got to really know how the technical parts of it. And again, same thing with these. If you're planning to sell hosting, or if you really want to have your own dedicated, great. But if you're just starting out and you need something simple, their shared hosting is all you need. And it'll do great with WordPress. You don't need, again, WordPress hosting tends to be more expensive. Go with just one of the Linux plans because it comes with the cPanel. So you have that. You can go with Windows if you want, but what I recommend is the Linux plan. And then they have these 3 options. Again, I go with the Swift unless you really want the extra speed, because the only difference really between the Swift and the Turbo is the speed. So the Turbo obviously comes with Turbo, up to 20 times faster. I found the Swift plan has all the speed that I need. $4.90 a month, you can't beat it. The Lite plan, yeah, it's $1 cheaper, but you only get 1 website, 5 databases, So if you really are serious about an online business, you're probably going to have multiple websites, which you need, and you might need, very well likely are going to need multiple databases, etc. So that's the way I would go. Again, I like A2 hosting. I think they're a diamond in the rough. Most, again, they're not flashy like all the big names out there. And because of that, you're going to get some really excellent speed, security, support, and more. I've been extremely happy with them. And if you want to learn more, you can click the link below either to get started or it'll go over to a review page that I have as well. I hope you found this helpful. If so, feel free to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be happy to share with you. Thanks so much.